Hey, Wayne here, and today I feel like I'm on something special. It's an e-mountain bike from HAOQI that they sent over for me to review. It's called the Mustang. If you want to see a quick unboxing assembly video, stick around to the end. And by the way, it is pronounced HAOQI. I verified this with them. So let's check it out. Oh, I knew it was going to happen eventually. The HAOQI Mustang is good on terrain like this, and even like this. Hey, today I'm riding the HAOQI Mustang. It is considered an e-mountain bike, and like most mountain bikes, there is no kickstand. So you may notice that I have one on this bike. I used it so I could get pictures and slider shots like the ones you're seeing up on the screen right now. Needed something to hold the bike up, so I mounted one temporarily on there. I'm not going to leave it on. But yeah, this is a beautiful looking bike. A lot of e-bikes come with either a thumb throttle or a half twist throttle. That's what this one comes with, the twist throttle. So it's kind of like, you know, motorcycle. It also has 5 levels for pedal assist, like most bikes do, and a Shimano 8-gear system. The battery is removable. It's a 720 watt-hour, 48 volt, 15 amp-hour battery with Samsung cells. The charger is a US standard 3.0 smart charger, and it will charge anywhere between 4 to 6 hours depending on how empty it is. For distance, HAOQI claims that it'll get about 75 miles per charge. Of course, that's going to depend on your payload, terrain, type of riding you do. The motor is a Bafang M560 48 volt 500 watt mid-drive motor, which is something that I really like on a bike like this. It's a torque sensor bike, and get this, it has 130 Newton meters of torque. That's just awesome. All that torque is going to really help you get up hills on your trails and things like that. So the more, the merrier. Just love having that much. A lot of my bikes are maxed out at about 80, maybe 90 Newton meters of torque. This one has 130. The tires are somewhat knobby, could be a little knobbier, but they are 27.5 by 2.8 inch wide tires. It has hydraulic brakes from Gemma with 180 millimeter disc. The front fork is an SR Sun Tour suspension fork with 130 millimeters of travel. For the rear suspension, they've added an R-Fluxa shock, 750 pounds, 22 millimeters length, and it's adjustable. The Mustang has one of the nicest displays I've ever seen on an e-bike. Got a nice big screen, is very bright during the day, making it very bright in the evening. I like it a lot. It's really, really easy to see. It's just probably the easiest one I've ever had on an e-bike, but it is sort of set into the mounting part for the handlebars. So it's not like you can just change that piece out. You'll have to figure out how to reattach the display if you do. So you can change the handlebars if you want, but that stem, that post there that's connected to the handlebars, you're going to want to keep that one on there for the display. Let's get into some of the other stuff on the bike, like the weight. It weighs 64 pounds with the battery, 56.3 pounds without the battery, and the battery alone weighs 7.7 pounds. So if you're gonna carry this bike anywhere, you might want to take the battery out and then put it back in when you're ready to use it. The total capacity for this bike is 300 pounds. Recommended rider height is from 5'6" to 6'8". If you want even more details on the specs for this bike, you can go to my site, SpiderWayne.com, or you can go straight to the HAOQI website. I'm going to post links to all of that down in the description below. Okay, a couple things to expect when you get this bike. It won't come with a front headlight or a brake light, and it doesn't come with the kickstand. Now, all those things, you can add them on if you want. You could just go somewhere like Amazon and shop for those and get them. But if you're like a real trail riding person and you want a mountain bike, chances are you probably don't care about that stuff. So the kickstand can become a little bit of a hazard because it can flop open while you're riding, which is why they don't normally come with them. A pal of mine that does a lot more trail riding than I do feels that this tube here could be a little bit shorter to enable a little bit better control of the bike when doing trail riding. You might be able to just change the handlebars out to make them come up a little bit closer to you. So again, that's something that's workable, fixable, changeable. Wouldn't worry too much about that. To me, it feels pretty good. I'm pretty comfortable on this bike. Another part he threw out, which is totally optional, is a dropper post, a seat post for the bike. And I have one. I'm probably going to mount one to it later. If you want to see a video on how to mount one on this bike, let me know down in the comments and I'll make a video of that when I get to it. But yeah, a dropper post on a bike like this would probably be pretty good when you're on the trails. My only upgrade at the moment would be, besides the dropper post, would be 4-piston brakes. So I think this bike could benefit if you ride the trails a lot, maybe change them out to a 4-piston brake, which Gemma does make with the motor cutoff, so you could get the whole kit from them and change it out. The brakes for my style of riding is probably okay. I don't do a lot of trail riding, but yeah, this could be a bit better brake-wise if you need it. I'm gonna do a little bit of riding on this gravel. The tires seem totally fine for this. It's not slipping or anything. Feels good. Feels like I've got complete control. Oh, and this suspension. So I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, suspension works really well. So out of the box, this is a Class 1 e-bike, which will get you up to 20 miles per hour. If you want more power and you want to get up to the 28 miles per hour, the trick is to press and hold the plus button, hold it down for a few seconds, and you'll see it on the screen change from a Class 1 bike to a Class 2 e-bike. And from there, you'll get up to that 20 miles per hour, let go of the throttle, and keep pedaling, and you'll have more power. Okay, some of the things I really like about this bike is that it feels and looks a lot more like a mountain bike. It has a smaller frame, and when I say smaller frame, I mean it's just thinner than most of the fat tire bikes that are out there. And at only 64 pounds, it's a lot lighter than a lot of the other fat tire e-bikes that are out there. Now, this is not a fat tire e-bike, so maybe that's not a fair comparison, but it is a lot lighter than a lot of the other bikes that I have that are like this or that are fat tire bikes. I really like that it has a 500 mid-drive motor, which is more powerful than their equivalent counterparts, the hub motor. Also, mid-drive motors generally have a lot more torque than hub motors. In fact, this one has 130 Newton meters of torque, which I really, really like. So I think that's another plus for getting you up hills when you need it, that extra power. They're also more energy efficient, meaning they can put a smaller, lighter battery in here and it will get just as much distance as other bikes because of the mid-drive motor's efficiency. Another great thing about this bike is the suspension. It has dual suspension, the front and rear, which is actually sort of in the middle here, this shock right here, and very helpful. I like it on the trails. Yeah, the suspension on this bike is pretty cool. Yeah, this HAOQI Mustang, it feels really well made. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I like the idea that it can be a project bike. You can add things on, which you can do with a lot of bikes, but I like that. I'm gonna probably change a few things out on this later once I get bored, but that probably won't be for a while. Again, I am gonna add the dropper seat post, and if you guys wanna see a video on how I do that, let me know. I'm not gonna do it right away. So if you guys wanna see a video on that, comment below and I'll record when I make that, when I add that dropper seat post. I'm gonna add links below in the description to the bike, HAOQI, and to some accessories and things that I would get for it. I'm gonna add all that to the description down below. If you use those links, I get a little bit back, and doesn't cost you anything extra. In fact, sometimes my links will include discount codes, so you might even save some money if you use them. But yeah, if this bike seems like the bike for you, go ahead and grab one, get out there and ride, and I'll see you on the next one. This is going into one of my top maybe 3 bikes, maybe my favorite now. At the moment, I am totally loving this bike. It's a great bike. It's fast, it's strong, it's powerful, 130 Newton meters of torque, 500 mid-drive motor. This is an awesome bike. Smaller frame, not big and heavy like the fat tire bikes. 64 pounds, skinnier tires, still knobby. Wouldn't mind a little knobbier of a tire, but still good tires. And out of the box, this is a great bike. You can fix it up by maybe changing out the handlebars, the front forks, the tires, and that's probably about all you need to do this bike. Oh, and add a dropper post for the seat. But those are all project things that you could do to any bike. I don't think that's really a problem. I think it's actually fun. So yeah, this is a really nice bike. If you're interested in one, go grab one now. Talk to you later. See you on the next one. Slide the brake disc in between the brake pads and then put this bar back through to tighten it onto the frame of the bike. Okay, let's put the display on. Remove these 2 screws here. Keep in mind you're going to need this blue connector to go to the cable connection on that side, and you're going to need this green one that's going to be coming down a little bit lower from over here. So let's go ahead and put the display into these 2 holes here and screw it back in. Okay, the bike comes with 2 pedals. The right side screws on clockwise and the left side goes on counterclockwise, so make sure you put that on correctly when you do it. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the right side here, and they give you a wrench, a 15 millimeter wrench. The other side's a 13, but you're going to use the 15 to tighten it down once you've got it screwed on. Okay, now that your HAOQI Mustang is fully assembled, let's go over a few things. Make sure that the handlebars are straight, everything is nice and tight, that your tires are properly inflated, you have a charge in the battery. Now you can enjoy this great bike. Get out there and ride, and I'll see you on the next one.